Hello. Hi. Early morning Ascension show. This is Joanna. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I just spent the whole afternoon downloading. Hello. This incredible topic. It's one of my favorite topics. And I've talked about it. There's lots of videos on our channel. If you go back, I think there's a couple hundred videos of my channel. One of the favorite topics we're going to talk about today. So get comfy, go grab your tea, get some water, and we're going to talk about soul blueprints. We're going to go far, we're going to go wide. So there's going to be codes given. Right now, the beings that are with me right now is the Galactic Federation. They work in direction with the Councils of Light for all evolutionary light programs that I'm connected with, the Councils of Light that I've been working with for many, many years. Way back when I was doing my my early morning Ascension show on KCOR. And I think those recordings might be out there somewhere. They're also on our YouTube channel. So if you click on the very bottom of our YouTube channel, you'll see KCOR recordings. And so there's much there. Just having some tea, so go get yourself a tea. Let's get ready. This will also be, just for tips and hints, this will be the last long video. I've been saying this for a couple of years because I've been trying to negotiate how I'm going to offer what I'm going to offer, because I do offer a ton of information, and my teams have really been inspiring me to get monetized for my gifts and my skills. And so what I'm going to be doing is the longer videos for galactic tutoring, for the Galactic Assembly, for the Galactic Councils and the Light Councils. Those of you that are planning and excited to be healers, teachers, and leaders in any way that we can. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to get really excited about the design of 5D, what that looks like, how you can dream about it, how you can inspire it. Remember, we're going beyond the beyond, beyond. Let's go, people. And so this experience of the longer galactic channels, the longer galactic teachings and learnings, and the high vibrational wisdoms that I bring forward have been really for free for many, 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 many years. So what we're going to do, this is going to be the last long one that we're going to do. And then from here on out, it will be on Patreon. And so I will have a Patreon link in the video for those of you that would like to join on a monthly membership basis for the longer galactic, universal, celestial videos that we will begin talking about in preparation for assimilation, for our unification with our celestial and galactic families. They will also obviously be involving with the galactic, alien, celestial, human harmonization of a 5D grid. That kind of excitements that each of us have to bring forward our gifts. And in these sessions, there will be the activations of such. There will be the attunement and enhancement and expansiveness of such. And so that's what that will be. And it will be offered on Patreon for those that are truly vibrationally preparing themselves, emotionally preparing themselves, physically preparing themselves, really excited to be a part of the first contact, first landing, and the new earth exploration and expressiveness. And those of you that have been with me for many, many years are going to be those ones that will be also following suit, I suppose, because it's just the easiest way for me to get the monthly video sharings, weekly channeled messages that are important for, I always align with the highest benevolence of evolutionary light programs through the Light Council and the Heavenly Councils. So that is what I align with when I offer these galactic experiences and universal tutoring experiences. I'm the tutor, I'm the teacher, I'm the offerer, I'm the ambassador of forthcoming changes, if you so wish. And there's an infinite number of timelines. So it's up to each person to tune in within and find out, what are you excited about? Who are you? What do you exist within? And where are you going to start driving your excitements? Because we really want to focus this year on dreaming our world into being. And that means it takes beingness, your vibration of beingness, your direction of beingness, your intention of beingness, and how you're going to start operating as a new fifth dimensional being. So we're going to go far and wide today. So grab your tea. And so from here on out, the longer videos will be on Patreon. If you wanted to be a monthly member there, that's where I would go sign up for the galactic longer videos. They will also include, for that monthly membership, they will also include a light language activation. I'm probably going to be doing the channelings once a week. So there will be 4 longer videos a month, and there will be the light language offerings as well to activate whatever the topics are that they will be offering. So those are really excited to be a part of this galactic school, if you will, bringing down those higher cascading informations and themes, topics, excitements, benevolencies, and they will be directly related to obviously the creative expression, because that's what we're here to inspire you to become that fifth dimensional being of light, so that you're going beyond what you were before in the third and the fourth dimension, now entering into this beautiful fifth dimensional excitement. So that's the all-encompassing accumulation, that's the all-encompassing assimilation of calling in and healing those soul fragments, and why it's been so important, because it directly relates to how much light you're able to process, the light that you're able to access, and the light that you're able to integrate and harmonize. So they're giving me a download right now. So what they're saying is that why we have been preparing you, and you'll see if you look back on the videos, there has been a succession of information and wisdoms that we have offered through these channelings. And we thank you, Joanna, for bringing forward these experiences. And I am Ashtar of the Ashtar Galactic Command and Assembly that is directly linked to the Councils of Light. And we thank you so very much for tuning in. These successions of experiences have been in coordination with you and your higher selves, in which you are seeking to explore, for we are in touch and we are connected with all of your higher selves, of those of you that have been placed on earth, that have chosen to be on earth at this time, to be a part of the very great excitement of the assimilation of who we are as beings of light into a family of oneness. This family of oneness, as you will begin to understand through your higher self, the cascading informations, wisdoms, and divine stories of where you have been throughout the galaxy. Our galaxy is only one galaxy. However, there are an infinite number of galaxies within the triad of this multiverse that Joanna has been speaking of for quite some time. This triad of universes is going through a very expansive multiverse experience of harmonization into new codes of becoming. These, for right now, will stay within the lineage of verbs, terms, and the vibrational communication through which you have. I'm just pausing at this moment because they're showing me words that we don't have sounds for, syllables for, because we're talking about the triad of the universe, the multiverse. So they're downloading to me higher vibrational words. So I'm going to say fifth dimensional words, fifth dimensional vibrations, which is what we're offering to you now as a conduit. I'm just explaining to you what's happening so that you understand as a conduit the multidimensional communications that are happening at this moment, and what the words and the codes that we offer in these expressions and explanations. So they're showing me the tetrahedron. Those of you that have gone to our Tumblr lately, on the diagram that I was given when we talked about the triad of the universes going through an ascension, and they gave me a symbol and a construct of what that might perhaps look like if we were to assume that source creator was the black hole in the very center, and the triad of these universes moving through their own unification, harmonization of their own evolutionary process. This goes beyond what you understand in your human form, but it is very symbolic of the multiverse threading of diversity that each of you will begin to macroscopically understand who you are, why you move through what you move through in your challenges to accept diversity, to honor diversity, and to fully allow the diversity, and to see how each and every one of you, as the masters of diversity and transformation, to see how you can create peace and harmony, for you are the best of the best. You were chosen at the highest vibrational levels to test your skills, to test all that you are as an ambassador of peace and light throughout the many galaxies, to bring forth such multiverse threadings of diversity, through which many of you that have been channeling and who have been teachers for quite some time, you have been very galactic and alien, if you like, star seeds, if you like. You are those that are here to anchor such unknown, strange, awkward, weird codes of feeling and vibration and sensation, for these come from not only this galaxy, other planets, other forms and bodies and stories, but they come from other universes. Joanna is very familiar with this, for oftentimes she feels as if there is an absolute uniqueness and nothing makes sense. However, she has allowed herself to be deposited onto this planet so that she may learn and pass information on through her etheric channeling systems that she has, processing information and allowing information to be used and led through her for her own intuitiveness and her own excellence of the understanding of the psyche, so that we may begin to thread these universal understandings and omnipresent understandings through her. And each of you will have your own special uniquenesses, your own special expansivenesses, and each and every one of you, if you so choose, through the love and the joy and the excitement of who you are, begin to work with the expansiveness of who you are. We are just giving you a preview, a preliminary, if you will, on what the expansive joy and the song and the story of this planetary excitement of evolution and harmonization to ascension into your galactic families is also a cascading evolution and harmonization of the multiverse. And as you can see, we are very excited to be here with you, and we will, in these pre-recorded experiences, they're showing me pre-recorded, so they're showing me right now why I will pause. They're showing me and us, the higher selves, the etheric selves, the higher versions of who we are in what you call a galactic school of energy, so that they're showing me these transmissions will conclude in the Patreon channel. For all of you who have chosen to be a part through your own inner work and inner choosing, remember it's all done through the purity of your heart, to be a part of the unification and the oneness, ascension programs of evolution and light on your planet. And that is done through your own sacred heart, your own union and communion with spirit and source and your higher self, your soul and your teams that you have come with. And why today's topic will be about soul blueprints that gives you a simple, expansive understanding. Remember, micro, macro, but that these teachings will continue on the Patreon because they will be and offering higher vibrational languages, higher vibrational codes for those that are seriously inclined to explore who you are as a galactic being of light to help in the assimilation and the oneness project. Thank you. This is not to hamper any of your day-to-day work. They want to make sure that you're living as normal humans, but this is also to tap into those that have been bored, that have been preoccupied with the day-to-day dramas, wishing to expand who you are in higher vibrational ways, to step out of what has been norm and conformity and vibrational settings that you are tired of and ready to move on from. Because many of you have higher vibrational intelligence that you wish to activate and you wish to put into service in your own unique ways, in your own unique divine soul blueprint that you have come forward to offer as a gift to humanity. For as I said earlier, many of you have come as chosen ones in your own unique, diverse sex, so the SECT of energy, family, lineage of the galactic, celestial, and omnipresent, and why it's good for you to now begin to see yourself as an omnipresent being of many, many universes, and that which you will pull forward your gifts and your wisdoms to bring forward your dynamic sense of self. For you are profound, and we never want you to forget that, dear lighted ones. And we are so happy to be a part of this session and learning. Now may you all take your seats. May this assembly of galactic celestial excitement begin, for we are all with you. Surrender to your hearts through breath. Ground into your planet of love and light and your earth star chakra. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Call in your higher self and your soul. I call in my higher self and my soul for harmonization for this beautiful galactic assembly, through the galactic federations, through the councils of light, through the angels and the angelics and the holy masters, through the evolutionary light programs. We call in only those beings that are of the highest light. We call in only those beings that are wishing to play and join us in this excitement of light evolutionary programs, and any and all beings that are causing distraction. We ask that they leave now, please. Archangel Michael, thank you, Holy Spirit, Archangel Michael, and just ask Archangel Michael to clear and cleanse your space so that you can be left uninterrupted and uninterfered. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for nothing has will and power over you. Clarify your space, clarify your bodies, clarify your minds through breath. And ground. I love you, Gaia. I love you, Gaia. And just with a loving affirmation, say, I lovingly connect to you, Gaia. I lovingly connect to the grids. I lovingly connect to my ancestral forms. And I am connected with my Earth Star chakra. And breathe one more time to connect the heavens and the earth. Okay, we are now ready. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That was wonderful. We're going to take a beautiful sip of tea. So today's topic will be the divine soul blueprint. Thank you, Holy Ashtar. Thank you, Holy Ashtar. And so, as we talked about earlier, remembering that your divine soul blueprint is again connected with your Merkaba, and your Merkaba is linked to all star systems. It's linked to all bodies and all forms and all contracts of a soul's blueprint. Every form that you take, any bodily form that you take, because remember, you have experiences on other realms, other planets, other galaxies, other universes that are no form. Remember, it is a cascading experience that you have as an individual soul, as an individual body that is harmonizing and behaving as a soul now, because you're recognizing, remember, consciousness and your awareness is about your acknowledgement, your acceptance, and your allowance of who you are. So I'm acknowledging now that I'm a soul. I want to become my soul harmonization. I'm going to start operating as a soul, and I'm going to start tapping into. I'm going to start seeking. I'm going to start observing. I'm going to start reflecting. I'm going to start knowing myself as a soul, because I understand I'm multidimensional, and it's connected to all star blueprints, star themes, star stories, star excitements, anything that I choose as this being to come here in this now moment to behave as a grander soul. Because I want my human experience to be a soulful experience, because that's as I choose to be in my highest mantra. So for each of you, that's your daily work. What is your highest mantra for today? And Joanna said yesterday, that mantra is to be as rich in spirit, to live rich and full as spirit. That is true soul fulfillment, to be a soulfully enriched person and being, so that you're incorporating all versions of that you are, using all of your senses, not leaving anything out. And that is the diversity of oneness. That is source God's experience and wish and happiness and song and joy of you, but there is no judgment if you choose not to. That is unconditional love. That is the source, the beyond, the non-judgmental God that we are now starting to write into our new human creational stories. The new human creational stories is also having us learn, remember, and know who we are, what we exist with, and what exists within us in more dynamic ways, therefore expanding consciousness. Because again, awareness is consciousness, consciousness is awareness. We get to choose individually how far we expand, what we expand within, and reclaiming all of our power, reclaiming all of our voice, reclaiming all energies and consciousness attributes, so that we can expand in the experience of who we are through creative expression, creative joys. Our expansiveness is directly related, always will be, to creative experience and creative excitement. Who are you as a creative being, and what are you excited to create? And it will always, always, always be linked to and through your soul blueprint. That's how spirit, your higher self, and your teams and your guides activate you. They leave you little symbols and synchronicities, which I wrote about in all three of my books. I wrote about all three of my books, the connection of spirit, the symbologies you have with spirit, how to read the symbologies of spirit, how to tap into your own unique ascension cycle, what it means for you, how it's ultimately preparing you to become and live as a soul, the multidimensional faceted soul that's infinite and eternal and youthful and vibrant and divine and sacred and all of these things that we want to feel. Because 5D is all about feeling and manifesting your vibrational reality through feeling of it, through being of it, through the healing of it, which is 3 and 4D. And then 5D, you get to manifest and create it. You get to be it. That's the excitement. So we're here to dream. We're here to inspire. We're here to encourage you to be all of these things. And you are a soul. And your soul has a beautiful light bubble, if you will, that's called your Merkaba, that is linked and coded to all other soul themes, all soul blueprints, knows your stories, knows how and when to be activated by what and how. And these are the things that your spirit guides and your soul work with. Nobody else works with your soul Merkaba other than those beings. They have specific protections and light and honoring. They know you inside out, your Merkaba inside out through God. You speak and live through God. Therefore, God helps you activate and heal and bring harmony and bring joy to that essence that you are as a Merkaba. It is our very sacred vessel of being, and it helps us. This is how we will, in our future, interdimensionally travel. We will interdimensionally travel through and in our Merkaba. Once we understand our multidimensional bodies, once we heal our multidimensional bodies, once we understand and create the purity of our beingness, what I've talked about for many, many years is the divine relationship. honoring the divine relationship, being exact harmony of our divine masculine energies, our divine feminine energies, which are absolutely linked to the healing and the rebalancing and the harmonization, so that when we do travel interdimensionally, we absolutely know where and how we are through thought, through word, through deed. It is through the presence of who we are that we interdimensionally travel, bilocate, dematerialize, and then materialize again. It's all through your Merkaba, but one must be absolutely healed. Otherwise, you would end up out in space somewhere, getting lost and be detached from your body, your spirit, and your soul fragments. So this is why understanding what soul fragments are, understanding what the psyche wounds are, understanding who you are as a being, as multidimensional, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So if there's any wounds within that multidimensional experience, it must be healed first. One that is deeply wounded cannot be an interdimensional traveler, because they would cause so much and not necessarily end up where their intention is, because their soul has been fragmented. There's been energies, emotions, and stories not healed. So they would not have a pure, direct access to the vibration that they would be looking for. They would be in that vibration of that brokenness. They would be in that vibration of fragmentation, because that is what space and time really is. It's about vibration. It's not about place. It's about vibration. So if your vibration is broken, physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, then that is the vibration that you would end up at, which is equal to the reality that you create here on Earth in physical form. We're just giving it to you what it would look like if you were to what we call time travel. It's not time traveling. It's just vibrational. It's a vibrational location, if you will, because it's all about like vibration. And so the soul blueprint. The soul blueprint determines what soul contracts that you'll take. And your soul contracts will change as you evolve and change and ascend and expand, releasing old vibrational stories. And remember, your vibrational stories that you've chosen to take on in soul contracts are directly related to your collective, directly related to Gaia, directly related to the heavens and the galactic celestial alien councils that you all belong with. You all do. You're all here for certain collectives and agreements, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But I'm referring to when you have a soul contract, there's many contracts within a soul blueprint. The blueprint is kind of like the higher plan with spirit, with God, with the highest of the heavens. How your soul blueprint for this earthly timeline is organized and offered as themes and attributes of what you choose to expand within the soul, to experience, to explore, and to express, as we keep it as simple as possible, but it's really not that. There's far expansive topics we're going to try and tie in as much as we can. And again, these longer topics will be on Patreon for those of you that want to continue with our Galactic School. Your soul stories and your themes that come within your contracts, and you will choose certain beings and certain entities at the highest of your vibration that you've had other stories and themes with on other planets, on other realms. Again, it's based on, if we go back the micro-macro to the tertiary ascension of the three universes, because they're all threaded, and each of us are here to thread in different dynamics of separation, diversities within different groups, i.e. the reptilian groups and the Orion groups that were threading in, the draconian groups that were threading into these new harmonization aspects, and why we've seen the separation, the greed, and all of the stories that we've seen in our reality play out with regards to war, such a tug of war with resources and planetary space and land and people, all of those energies that there is such competition with. We're healing those attributes. We're healing those soul stories, and why you have seen play out in your own personal life any ideas and issues that you've had with competition, with thinking that you have to have something, or having those competitive issues within you about land and what you own and what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you. All of those are healing of the primary soul theme contracts. The primary soul theme contracts are directly related, absolutely directly related, to how you will evolve creatively, expressively, and what you are here to most excitedly offer. For instance, I'll give you an example. One of my soul blueprints, one of my soul blueprints, you have many soul blueprints depending on the universe, if you will, the universe that you belong to, because you belong to many universes, but in any moment you can, when down the road, when we have the ability to split our consciousness and play and travel in different ways, you can have an experience here in this universe. Say we're in this universe right now, Earth, our galaxy right here, right now, and this is you and this is Earth. But you might have a 30% experience. I say 30 because you can never really be fully here because you're now operating in your human body here. But you can put a portion of your consciousness through your cascading energies. You can have your higher self help you thread there to this universe, which is a higher vibrational universe doing something completely different. This universe within our galaxy, within our planet, has a universal blueprint. This has a universal blueprint, and this has a universal blueprint. For an example, I'm just saying this, it's not fully faceted because there's so much to take into consideration. We can't cover it in one show. Source creator God, the one creator, which is this tetrahedral experience that they showed me the other day. So if you go to our Tumblr, I gave an image of what they had showed me in regards to this tetra omnipresent ascension for these three universes. Seeing yourself and experiencing yourself and seeking into that expression of who am I as a multiverse experience, I'm really excited to expand and to grow, can help activate these stories and these examples and these fun playtimes that you can begin to expand into as you're playing with your consciousness and expansiveness. So you can have an experience that you want to thread here to bring into this now moment, and you will do this in your own timing, because everything has to be divinely timed. You don't want to feel fragmented. You don't want to feel confused. Everything will be in divine timing if you've prepared yourself for it. You could ask your higher self, can I have an experience or a feeling or a sensation of my most farthest off planetary experience? It might be in Pluto. It might be in another aspect of the galaxy that nobody knows about yet, or that's unheard of. But you can begin to ask these experiences, not because you want to get there because you think it's the most weird and wild thing. Remember, ego can't be a part of it because spirit will say it's not necessary. However, to give you an experience like yesterday, I had this very deep remembrance and healing of being connected with my galactic and celestial families, and I miss them so much. Because of the spiral of time, because of the spiral of now, if you will, there was probably an interaction that I had great love and great familial experience and great celestial and alien connection as I was on a mission somewhere else. And I missed my celestial family. I missed my galactic family. Being human felt odd and awkward and sad and lonely sometimes because it wasn't as advanced, it wasn't as interactive or engaging, and it wasn't as connective. Because earthlings are very disconnected. Earthlings are very in a state of dichotomy and polarity and duality because they're still going through the healing process. So for someone that is a starseed, for someone that is very highly connected to spirit and a multiverse perspective, it leads some of us to experience those alien moments where we miss our celestial family so bad, nothing here makes sense. And those are moments of healing and transmutation. Again, it could be another universe that you want to connect to, but you just don't know the vibration, how to thread there yet. So I'm giving you a personal experience as a conduit, what I feel, what I go through, so that my teams are giving me that inspiration, that catalyst, so that I can learn how to thread there. I can learn how to bring that thread in as conduits and as healers and as code breakers, as crystalline beings. Those of us that are master builders are usually crystalline children because we can easily see the dynamics of a multidimensional collective story, if you will, socially, economically, vibrationally, medically, topography within the ecological systems. We can see the various multidimensional threads, if you will, and we can pull threads in to help certain areas of our dimensionality. Dogma, for instance, we can pull threads in from another universe to help that dogmatic system heal itself and expand itself and offer love to itself. And so this is what Joanna's talking about. And so in my missing of my celestial families, I had a moment of asking for my certain celestial families. I had 3 that I was missing. So somehow that was an experience. I was missing those 3 energies. So those 3 energies was how I was able to call them in and then harmonize with them because I missed them so very much. And then I asked them to bring me experiences of their beingness with me so that I can feel their energies in my fields again, because I was missing their energies from my fields. Sometimes they do tend to step back when you're going through a healing, when you're going through a life transformation, because they want you to allow that process of healing. And they don't want to play too much of a part of non-interference, which is the number 1 universal law of free will. Honoring and respecting free will and not interfering too much in your path, because they know, especially with beings like myself, They know that I miss them so very much. And it would sometimes hinder the path of healing when they have such love that is not from here, because all you want to do is be in that love because you miss them so very much. They're your true family. And those are the ones that you truly, truly miss, because we don't have those experiences of unconditional love here. And I can feel them vibrationally and why I miss them so very much. So sometimes they do take a step back so that you can harmonize and still feel normal, because those of us that are conduits, not from here, starseeds that are not from here, we have to do still our number one priority is to acclimatize to Earth, is to acclimatize to the human experience so that we can teach and offer and heal from the human experience perspective. And that is very, very, very hard as a starseed, as somebody that is not used to the density and to the duality and to the harm and to the games and to all of the things that go on, and why I've had to experience what I did. There, I'm just seeing if they want me to say what they're just replying to me in my mind. I am a chosen one from other offerings, and it is sometimes they're showing me 70%. So they're showing me in my daily clump of being, if you will, it's like 70% of the energy that I use is just to assimilate to a new planet. And that's just the work that it takes energetically to assimilate, because my vibration is a different vibration. And to be here, I have to assimilate. And why my teams are, and why I call in those threads of energy, call in those threads of codes, call in those threads of uniqueness that I feel one and harmonized with: galactic, celestial, alien, universal, omnipresent, godlike, heavenly, angelic-like, so that I can feel normal here. So that's why I have those moments of integration. I have those moments of assimilation, because as I'm ascending and expanding into new realms of play, I'm also here to anchor it and teach others that are going through similar starseed galactic confusion and disassociation or disenfranchisement, really. A lot of my writings and a lot of my stories have been about to heal the disenfranchisement. And as a starseed, that's how it has been. As a hybrid child, that's how it's been. As a celestial child, that's how it's felt, is disenfranchisement, because we come and we offer a different, unique vibration. And as Cryan and Lee Carroll said in a video offering that he had, is that as the light presents itself, the dark will combat it, because their energy and their energy vibrations that don't get this offering of light, they don't understand it, they don't want change. So they want to fight against what they don't understand and what they don't know, because their consciousness level only wants to see what it wants to see, because their wounding has not been healed. And that's okay. But the task and the ambassadorialship and the leadership is what we're here to teach and offer through these Patreon and YouTube channels, is to those that are in leadership, teaching, and healing modes and roles, is to assimilate so that we can bring those understandings of higher vibrational knowledges and wisdom, higher vibrational soul blueprints. And so that at the cascading levels of Earth, because each of you will experience a different level of Earth, a different level of consciousness, that those are in those different levels of Earth will have those informations available to teach those that are just awakening, those that don't want to awaken, and how to navigate in and around those energies. And again, why Joanna's gone, what she's gone through, so that she can offer you when to pull away, when to step away, when to close the story, how to know when you've learned the depths of your soul contracts, i.e., if you have 2 or 3 experiences in your life that feel very dark and feel very dense and feel very heavy and feel very karmic, that you and your teams know when to walk away and step away from a soul contract. When do you know how to close that soul contract? And a good idea in this is you're never meant to move through an abusive experience and have that be okay. So that's, again, building your sense of self, self-love, self-value, and self-honor. That's, again, redesigning your sense of self. So if you've been in a history of abusive patterns, dysfunctional patterns, less than patterns coming from a collective point of view, because we have had such separative experiences, that's the experience, and the experiment on our planet is duality and separation, to return back to source, to return as a soul, then you're going to have to heal those separative stories. And they come in every way, come in small, big themes, little attributes, big attributes. Because again, remember, as you're learning who you are as an omnipresent being, those soul stories and those soul attributes, those soul contracts link to the multiverse, and why they're so intense sometimes. why you just have no idea why you just keep butting heads with somebody, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 threads with them in 3 different universes. And they're there as your catalyst to move and to grow in the highest benevolent way of oneness and unity, to be as highly compassionate, to be as highly as forgiving, to be as highly as unified. That's why you are the chosen ones. You are the chosen ones to see beyond the behavior, to get to the root of those issues, and to see through in compassion and to create the diversity in oneness. That's why you're the chosen ones. That's why these offerings are so very valuable and important, because these will be the 5D leaders. There will be very few experiences as political anymore. It will be humanitarian and omnipresent, because that's who you are. That's why you experience the battles and the traditions and the dogmatic systems that are old and defining and breaking through the higher consciousness level of unity and oneness, because you're starting to sort that stuff out at an individual collective basis, which is also galactic, celestial, and omnipresent. And so as you're working through those really thick and dense and heavy karmic stories, if you will, and we all know what they are, they're usually come in our family members, they usually come in our partners, those that have challenged us to stand in our truth, to stand in our voice, and to stand and create our own sense of self in alignment with spirit. Why you go through those tower moments is so that you can return within and start designing your life brand new. Those that have had illness, sickness, near-death experiences, tower moment after tower moment, all of those are experiences and catalytic experiences for your ascension and your awakening. They absolutely are. Nothing is by accident. There is no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, because you're meant to be activated to a higher state of being. And the only way to do that is to return yourself back within, is by cutting away, by clearing away, by moving away, by releasing what is no longer serving you, what is constantly in your way as a catalyst. And at some point, those catalysts have to be removed. They will be removed through tower moments, whether it's a job that you don't fit in, whether it's a partner that continually abuses you, whether it's another experience where you're just finding that I've done enough, there is nothing more for me to do. This is when divine intervention steps in and clears the way for you. Because there are those moments that darkness doesn't want to feel that light. And those darknesses will be moved to play with other darknesses, so that the light can continue to assist those that want to be assisted, that truly want to be a part of evolutionary programs. And then at some point, the darknesses will still have their awakening. It will just be in a slower pacing, universal involvement. And so that's why it's all about vibrations. It's all purposeful. It's all perfect. Every soul is purposeful and perfect, because every soul has a different and unique way to thread and call in their soul's experience for what their soul needs. And in that soul blueprint, there will be various soul contracts, brothers, sisters, mothers, uncles, partners, and those, many of them right now, because we're in the still beginning stages of ascension, many of those will be karmic. Then there's the soul contracts that you have. Those soul contracts are loving, supportive, connective experiences, similar codes, but unique codes that will help activate your chakras, your fields, and your multidimensional bodies in ways that you need to, when you need to. It'll all be divine time. This is why this is such a wide and vast topic. There's so many experiences. Let's say, for example, I'm heading into a new transitionary experience. Meeting new people, exploring new things, exploring new places, exploring new energies, exploring new dimensions, exploring new universes. So that is what is in my now. In this now, there will be so many people that I will be connecting with that will have unique codes, unique experiences, so that they can also cascade their codes, their experiences, so that I can then cascade my codes and experiences. As a conduit, I know how to thread that. And as a conduit, I know how to activate it. As a conduit, I know how to heal and anchor it to the earth, so that our codes are also activated. Because I'm working with other galactic beings right now. Most often, I'm working with Syrians and Arcturians, with those codes in different segments of space to assist in the grid activations of planets in our planetary grids. I can go off in so many different tangents. I'm just trying to keep this really aligned here. We say in planetary alignments is because Joanna also has a council and a group that she connects with in different tangents of grid work. Why she has had such great success and fun and joy in classes of anthropology. And we're going to talk about that in this experience. Why your soul contracts, what you find exciting, what are you here to learn, what are your true soul calling, the destiny of who you are, is that beautiful vibrational creational energy. And once you go through the healing of 3 and 4D, you then get to work in harmony with what we like to call the creational being of you, rather than the beast. It's not a beast. It is your profound creational experience of who you are. And in that creational being of who you are, the God being of who you are that creates worlds, you have to be in utter balance with your divine and masculine energies. You have to do the work. You have to heal your divine beliefs about who you are as a human. And I say divine beliefs because it's all divine beliefs. You create it, you suss it out, you source it out. Who am I as a divine feminine? Who am I as a divine masculine? What are my issues? What are my separations? What are my beliefs? What are my trajectories? How am I here to heal? How am I here to offer? What have been my trigger points? All of those things are self-evolutionary experiences. And in that balancing and rebalancing and healing of the divine and feminine masculine, you then start understanding your Merkaba. And that Merkaba helps you travel and traverse multidimensionals and multi-universes through the help always of your higher self and your soul. You can never do any of it without your higher self and your soul. And if you are doing energy work without your higher self or your soul, then you will get misaligned and you will be working with energies and entities that don't have your highest and your best. And you'll feel very fragmented. So that's why your higher self is your driver. Your higher self is your driver. And if you're not guiding and being guided by your higher self, then you're being guided by other energies. And so just keep that in mind. Always work as a one unit, as your soul and your higher self. Then you're absolutely being guided with your highest, your best, because your higher self will always place things before you that you're meant to be placed before, people, being, places, and circumstances, so that you can activate synchronicity. And so your soul blueprint is a theme of experience that you in this body, that you as a grander soul wants to experience. For example, I am a human being. I have connections with celestial, galactic communities, alien communities, the earth. I'm very connected with earth and her topography. I'm connected with her biosphere, connected with all that is Gaia. I'm connected with the vibration of Gaia consciousness. I teach on the Gaia consciousness. I teach of her intelligence. I teach of her wisdoms. I teach of Gaia because we are Gaia. That's how we ascend. We ascend through Gaia. She is our ascending body. Her Merkaba is connected to our Merkaba. That is also a part of our soul's blueprint. It is also part of our soul's contract. You will know within your own soul's themes, blueprints, what you're most excited about. And if you look back on your life, which I expressed and explained in my book #1, when you look back on your life, what was your highest excitement? What did you always go back to? What did you always return to? What did you always have wonderings and ponderings about in your highest joy, in your highest set of, wow, if I could be anything, do anything, that's what it would be. When you ask yourself those questions, just sit in silence and just sit in softening through your heart, you'll begin to connect to that inner child. That inner child is who you are as the sacred child of God, and those gifts were deposited to. Those gifts were deposited because it was your ultimate higher vibrational primary, secondary, and tertiary. We're only going to go that far. We're not going to go any deeper because we're dealing with a tertiary multiverse ascension. We're not going to go any wider or deeper because there's far more expansive things, and it can go on and on and on and on and on, as you can tell and as you can know. Primary themes, secondary themes, tertiary themes. For instance, Joanna, I love to teach and I love to learn. I'm a tutor, I'm a teacher, I'm a healer, I'm a guide. All of those things are the processes of ingathering of information and excretion of information. I love to teach. I love to be a part of learning. I love to be a part of expressing that learning. That is my ultimate expression of who I am. And in that ultimate expression, I get to express creatively. And I've always been an artist in some way. So I've loved to use my hands in that art. My teaching is a part of my hand movement. My teaching is a part of my expression. My teaching is a part of my be able to use mudras to work with the celestial threads, the alien threads, the omnipresent threads, the Gaia threads, all that are threads and all that are vibration. Because I understand that I've worked with it innately before I even knew what it was. When I was a child, when I was playing in nature, I would use my hands and I would work with the angels and the fairies. So I would use this automatically without even knowing what I would be doing. So it's been a part of my makeup. It's a part of my primary soul blueprint to start activating and bringing into this earth experience, 3D, now 4D, 5D, into these new higher vibrational ways of becoming and being. It's part of my soul blueprint. My soul blueprint is to be unique, weird and awkward and strange and different so that I can anchor these new things, because it's not strange and different if you're on another universe doing it all the time. It's just strange and different here because we've lived in such limited, conformed experiences where we looked to the outer for everything about who we are. And that's absolutely the opposite. That's how we truly become soul infused, is we actually start living and being and becoming who we are as soul beings. Because you then start to understand primary, secondary, tertiary. You don't have to understand it that way, but what is your greatest excitement? Out of anything that you could do, what must you really do? And for me, it's writing. I love writing. It's a part of my expression. It's part of using my hands. It's a part of how I become spirit. It's a part of how I get spirit out into the physical world. I love to write. I love to create. I love to do drawings. I love to write drawings. I like to get what's up here and in the spirit realm and in the field onto paper. I got boxes and boxes and boxes and lockers and journals, and I got lockers filled with boxes and books. It's my creation. It's my way to communicate with spirit. It makes my world real. It makes my communication with spirit real. It makes all the downloads and all the channelings and all the information that's just in my field. There's information in my field, and once I put pen to paper, it just comes out. And I write pages and pages, and I just start writing. So it's in my field. It's that moment that source impresses you, that impression of source, and it just flows through. That's where you know you just got to do what you just got to do. And it becomes your all igniting passion. That is how you ignite your passion. And that's what these sessions and that's what these videos are for. We're here to inspire you. See spirit? Did you see spirit? Thank you, spirit. Then when I just said passion, we're here to inspire and ignite your passion. Thank you, spirit. We're here to inspire you to go deeper, to go wider, to know that you're a multiverse being, to know that you have so many layers and levels to yourself. Really get excited. See spirit? You've got so many aspects of spirit with you and over you and within you and working with you. There's beings and spirits in the realm and in the room that you don't even know about. Start engaging with love, start engaging with joy, start engaging with excitement about who you are. And when you do, you know that you're always going to align with the highest and the best, because that's joy. The vibration of joy will align you with beings of vibration of joy. And you can't be fooled. That's where your discernment and your knowing and knowing who you are is so important. I know who I am. That's the being I want to connect with. That's the being I'm going to connect with. When I connect with my beings and my guides, my higher self, my soul, and my gatekeepers, Archangel Michael and all the beings that are my gatekeepers, because there's a few people out there that want to think they have access to me and they think they have authority over me. So they're trying to play with my field and they're trying to play with my destiny. They're trying to play with my throat chakra, and they're trying to play with all these things that they think they have access to and they think they have authority and ownership of. There's gatekeepers already looking after it, and the ancestors are already looking after it. So I don't have to worry about any of that. I have those gatekeepers set up and they're there for me. And so God has said enough is enough, no more playing. So God has set up those gatekeepers for me through my higher self, because it's been such a long journey of being suppressed, depressed, discriminated, and held back because of the selfish games of others and the agendas of others. I have my right to my voice. I have my right to express multidimensional wisdoms and informations, and I will. And spirit will assure that there will be the right gatekeepers and beings in place. So that's that. I trust that. Unconditionally trust God is God, and God's going to allow me to express my fullest and my best, because it's my time. It's my destiny. It's my destiny to be my fullest and my greatest expression of who I am. That's my joy. And in that joy, spirit's going to make sure that everything is moved out of the way, because that's my part of the deal. My part of the deal is to be and to act and express. As long as I'm being and I'm acting and expressing, God will make sure that everything else is done. Period. That's the equal measure. Equal measure. I know who I am, I want to express. I know who I am, I want to express. And I have that right. That's my birthright. Every vibrational universe, that's my birthright. That's God's promise to you, because God is all universes. God says, okay, Joanna, you did that there. Let's bring it down to here. We need this code here. Okay, Joanna, now you're ready. Go. See what I'm saying? God is in charge of all universes. So when I have a thread here with God and I'm doing my highest expression here with God, creating crystalline galaxies, God says, okay, Joanna, we need that here now. There's a body that we placed you in. We deposited you there. Now go to it. You know everything about crystalline energy. You know about crystalline grids. You know how to play. You know how to have fun. Go do it. Gaia needs you right now. The human collective needs you. They might not understand you at first, and they might fight against you at first, and they might not like you at first, and they might disagree with you, and they might fight against you. And you're going to have those that are going to be your catalyst. So don't worry about it. We got that. Just keep loving. Just keep clearing, just keep clearing, just keep clearing, and do your thing. You're going to show them how to clear their fields. You're going to show them how to receive from the divine. You're going to show them how to connect from the divine. You're going to show them that they have soul blueprints and soul contracts and why the people are before them that they are. So they can let go of the worry. They can let go of the fight. They can see everything as neutral and just start being love. You got that. You got to have those threads that you can call in and say, I got this now, Spirit, let's do this. You don't need anything outside of you to fix you. You don't need anything outside of you to tell you who you are. Everything in every manifestational way, every enhancement way, every expansive way, you are it. Multiverse. Never give your power away. There is so much power within you. And having power is never, ever to harm anything or anybody. That's absolute. That has no power at all. To destroy something takes no power at all. To absolutely create and manifest, that's powerful. To create and manifest from thought, I can create again and again and again and again and again. As Jesus said, they can take his body, but there's nothing that will take what he knows. And it is being transmuted, cascaded through dimensions, through times, through generations, through people, through grids. Energy and information is limitless. It's infinite, whether the body's here or not. It will always be channeled. It will always be transmuted. It will always be through transmissions. That's why there's no war. Understanding consciousness. You can't take your consciousness from somebody. You can't take someone's consciousness from them. You can't take their destiny from them. You can't take anything from them. It's an illusion. There's stories that you have to heal of being taken from, of being enslaved, of being separative, of being in dualistic experiences. Because that's the healing of the divine feminine and the divine masculine on this planet and all our galaxies and all of our universes. Healing of unification. Our unification is everything. You can't take anything from anybody. It's an illusion. There might be the material experience of it temporarily, but absolutely know that anything that you take unjustly from someone in any way, vibrationally, spiritually, mentally, or emotionally, it will be returned to you because that is a soul lesson. That's your lesson. If you created that manifestation to take from somebody, you absolutely you know that it will be a lesson that you'll have to learn into giving it back, making it right, and to receiving. Soul growth, your soul blueprint is always two parts of the equation. It's never just one part. Your soul growth absolutely has to be two parts of the infinity. If you have taken, you must learn how to receive. Whether it's this lifetime or another, if you have taken, you will have to learn how to be taken from. There's always two sides of it. So to learn that lesson of taking from somebody and how it harmed them and how it hurt them or how it damaged them, or how you maybe took somebody's content, you maybe took somebody's things, but now you're being presented with, okay, then prove that that's your stuff. Prove it vibrationally. Prove yourself to be a channel. Prove yourself to be this, to be that. If those circumstances pose itself, then that person will say, oh, there's the lesson. Well, I can't prove it because I'm not a real channel. Spirit wouldn't download those informations to you because you're not prepared to discern it. You're not prepared to explain it. You're not prepared to dissect it in the multidimensional way that it's needed for those people that are in the audience. When I'm downloaded something, Spirit shows me, and why we say, just soften and just open up to what you're ready to receive, because your higher selves are connected to the beings that I'm connected with. Those people that just take the material and reverberate it, they don't know. They're not connected. They're not purely in their heart, aligning with their own gifts and skills and abilities. They're just copying somebody else. The masks will fall off. And it's up to everybody in our reality to discern. Socially, dogmatically, energetically, spiritually, medicine, anything within your social reality, discern. What feels good for you? What feels right for you? What feels exciting for you? How are you being nourished? How are you feeling? If you're feeling excited, you know there's a vibrational match. So in these soul blueprints, you know that there's going to be cascading themes, cascading attributes that you're meant to connect with. Remember, Ascension is all about connection. What part of you was excited about teaching? What part of you was excited about how you express that teaching? Remember, as we're ascending from 3 to 5D, how we express and how we teach, right now they're showing me, thank you, Spirit, as a conduit and as a teacher and as a healer through the Christ consciousness, I help people heal in dream time. So I have that, and my higher self connects with those higher selves that is in the soul family, or those that need those Christed healings from me. And I had many clients for many years tell me that they would tell me of the dreams they had had of us doing light work together and us doing sound healing together in different temples and cities of light. And so those are the higher attributes of a soul contract that those of us that are Christ consciousness that we actually play upon in other states of consciousness. As we move from 3 to 5D, how I'm giving the example of teacher again, because that's my soul blueprint. I love to teach and offer wisdoms of the highest heavens of whatever I'm tapping into at the moment. It could be a Gaia teaching. It could be a Galactic Federation teaching. It could be an omnipresent teaching. It could be a healing teaching, whatever it is. In those experiences of teaching, if you will, there are cascading experiences. Remember the omnipresent, 1 universe, 2 universe, 3 universe. And it's also linked to galactic, celestial, alien, angelic, all of the expressions of life in the hierarchies of the heavens, if you will. Hierarchy is not what we mean it. Hierarchies are not what we know hierarchy to be. I'm just saying hierarchy because there's many different cascading elements of the many heavens. I was shown through Jesus one day, when Jesus showed me the many heavens, they were actually clouds sitting next to each other of different expressions of vibration that each of us go to. I say go to because it's not a place, it's a vibration that we go to for downloads, for teaching, for love, for healing. And we're in these many clouds, many heavens, where we go to reconnect with our heavenly aspects, the highest aspects of who we are as source. And in those clouds of heavens, if you will, the many heavens, like the mansions of the many heavens, that's what's meant by the mansions and the many heavens of the mansions, whatever has been said in sacred texts. And I've given that euphemism and that analogy many, many times in my teachings. Imagine that you're in a mansion and you go into one door. That is the many heavens, because you can hear and you could sense what's going on in those other rooms. And you can just open the door and bring that forward. And then you go to that main part of the house, and that's where you share it, the living space, the common space. That's where you share those gatherings, those teachings, those offerings. And everybody has a unique soul blueprint through which they create soul contracts, those that'll be catalysts, those that will be karmics, those that will be the ones that support, those that will be the ones that feed and nourish. It's all purposeful. Your karmic contracts are just as important as the ones that nourish you, because your karmic contracts help you to catalyze your greatest strengths. They help you catalyze to be your greatest peacefulness. Because you can't keep circling in karma. At some point, you're going to say, okay, I can keep fighting against this, or I can just be peace and walk away. What's my highest version of me today? My highest version of me is just being peace. Okay, well, then I guess I got to walk away, because I don't want to play on this merry-go-round of who's right and who's wrong. Because it's not about right and wrong. It's not about winning and losing. It's about win-win. And everybody can win when there's peace and love. So those are the things you have to pull out from within you. And that's why you have those karmic contracts. So celebrate them. Don't judge them, celebrate them. And know and when you can close and say goodbye to those karmic contracts. So we'll go back and we'll talk about the karmic contracts. One thing I didn't mention, when you have karmic contracts that are really heavy, that are really hard, that are really challenging, it's because you're there to offer those great gifts and the skills and the wisdoms and teachings that you'll learn in those challenging contracts. In any ways, if I look back on a lesson or something that happened to me 2 years ago in this deep karmic darkness that I was in, I'm going to pull out something new and I can teach it now. But I'm closing the door on that now, because I don't want to return to those energies. I don't want to return to those stories. So I'm closing those threads out. I'm closing those cords out, and those cords are being severed. Those stories are being severed and changed. Those soul contracts with those soul people are being rewritten and changed, so that maybe I can meet with their higher aspects on other dimensions in other ways. I can meet with their celestial aspects in other dimensions in other ways, because those karmic contracts are still important. Those ones that damage and harm me the most, they're in another celestial experience, another celestial body where we're actually getting along, we're best friends. So I know that about karmic contracts. I know that about soul contracts. You have an infinite number of soul contracts, an infinite number of beings and bodies that you play within, and all of it is sacred geometry. Somebody that's caused you the most harm might be your best friend and partner here. So you're allowed to have it mean more and to be more and to see beyond the behavior, because that wounded version of them doesn't know their allness. So they're just acting in limitation. They're acting in separation. They're acting in duality. That's where their consciousness is right there. So be okay with it. Be compassionate about it. Forgive them. They're only behaving from their level of consciousness. Just as if those that create war, they're creating that war for us to reflect. That's their level of consciousness, because we as a collective chose that. Or a virus or a disease, or those that go and create violence. That's their level of consciousness to not know how to honor their energy or work with their energy in a safe and loving way so that they don't go out and create other woundings from their own woundings to a community. And that's very, very important soul work that they're doing for us. How do we heal those wounds? How do we understand ourselves and honor our energy so that we don't create such harm and violence to a collective and unnecessary war and crime and hurt? The loss of bodies is important. Why would we choose that? How can we heal that? How can we bring that to greater harmony and unification so that we're adding these high vibrational intelligent systems? There's no need for that violence. So in those deep soul contracts, and you always have this availability with your teams, with your guides, and the karma board. When you're dealing with really hard, tough karmic experiences, and many of you that are women, speaking to the women that are healing energies of misogyny and the imbalance of the divine feminine on the planet, many of you, again, as a soul blueprint, you're connected to stories and themes of rebalancing the divine feminine. Even those of you that are in male bodies that have a very feminine attribute, you're also there to heal the divine feminine by coming to terms with your divine feminine energy, by expressing your divine feminine energy and being okay with your divine feminine energy. Because there's so many men on our planet that are very highly in their feminine energy, and they always have been. They're comfortable with their feminine energy. Very intuitive, very profound healers. They're a part of that rebalancing of the divine feminine energy on our planet. For those of you to heal those misogynistic, oligarchy type of energies where you're rebalancing the divine feminine, you're helping inspire divine feminine stories in the creational human story, you're helping bring Gaia energy out, you're helping bring the Holy Mother out, if you will, through your own behaviors, through your own actions, through your own healings, through your own personal stories, you're rewriting the human collective. You can, in your higher vibrational daily soul care, with your journal and with your paper, and you can even do your drawings if you wish, if you feel creative, because you don't know what you might be teaching down the road. So always be inspired to get the pencil crayons, get some paper, and just start drawing. In my soul's blueprint, in my soul's experience, I have these 3 soul karmic contracts, and one of them is really giving me a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And you can write it in a circle, and this is what we've done in some of our healing class, and just do little threads going out. What are the lessons that you've learned from that soul karmic contract? Well, I've learned how to believe in myself. I learned how to believe myself over others. I learned how to stand in my power. I learned how to stand in my voice. I learned how to research community outreach programs. I learned how to trust in myself. I learned how to make an abundance for myself. I learned how to rely on only me for money. I learned how to rely on me in spirit. There's so much that can be learned from one karmic contract. That's what I've learned in one karmic contract, just within the last 8 years of trying to move through divorce. All of those were soul evolutionary themes for the divine feminine, for the children's collective, for future earth generations that I've had to learn through a really tough karmic contract, through a really tough experience, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, vibrationally. All of those were lessons. And I can go into, not only is that circle there with that thread there, but I can go into 3 or 4 cascading threads going on and on and on about how much I've grown. As you're talking to your guides, the karma board and spirit and the angels and the masters, whoever you're connected with, because remember, you're going to be connected with galactic councils, universal councils, and your earthly councils. All of the collective you're here to serve. That's part of your sacred triad, why you're here. You're here for the collective, you're here for Gaia, and you're here for the universe, you and God. In that, you want to take that into account when you're having that conversation with the karma board. Okay, karma board, I know that this person is with me for a soul contract reason. I'm to show them infinite light. I'm to show them compassion. I'm to show them what their positivity and their enlightenment particles can be. I'm the positive aspect of this experience, and they're playing a catalytic aspect of this experience. In this catalytic aspect of experience, when I'm aligning to source and I'm doing my very best, and I've been doing my very best for so very long, I want to be released from this soul contract. I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. This is not serving me. I'm not growing. I'm not being nourished, and I'm being depleted on every level. I'm being depleted physically. I'm being depleted mentally. I'm being depleted emotionally and spiritually. Not only in that, but there's actually people that are gathering because of the people that are being involved to continue this depletion. They're not stopping, even though they've been told to stop. So there's still the games continuing, and there's been said enough is enough. And so thus then, Spirit says, okay, divine intervention. In this conversation that I have with Spirit, out of the purity of my heart, I'm planning out, this is my life, my soul blueprint, my body, my experience. This is what I really want, Spirit. I want to experience this. I want to experience this. I'm an active part and a participation with God and the councils and my collective. This is where I really want to go. I've been held back. I've been suppressed. I've been depressed. Now let's get busy. This is what I want to create. I've learned this. I've understood this. Now I want to get busy. Now I want to put my foot somewhere new. Now I want to create something new. I got lots to do. I got lots of experience. I got lots of skills and gifts, and I want to get busy. This is why I did that. That's why I did that. That's why I offered that. Now it's time for me to get go. This is my choice, Spirit. When you are an equal participant of your soul blueprint, the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, and the universe, and your soul's expansion here, Spirit and the Karma Board will deliberate. They will go back to the highest of the councils. They will say, well, in the multiverse and in our systems, right? Joanna's needed here, here, and here. There's a thread that's not being dealt with here. There's a thread that's not being dealt with there because she's held back here. Everything is cascading. So in the suppression and the depression of the past 8 years, there was many threads and there was many things that did not get activated because of things being held back in my timelines and everything that was being played with in the fun and games of the selfish ones, if you will. So in that, there was many threads and many things that didn't get activated, and it inhibited the plan, the overall plan, the divine plan. So Spirit stepped in and said, that's enough. That's when divine interference, and that's when the interference laws can be overridden. Because there are times where divine intervention and divine interference is absolutely necessary, when enough is enough. Because there's been enough manipulation. There has been enough darkness. Enough is enough. And you have to play that constant, resilient, consistent player. You have to be the one that stands up for you. That's what Spirit wants to see, because we're in alignment now, as I said, because of the other threads that we're connected to, because of the other contracts that we're connected to. We're really connected with being new masters, new archangels, and we want to be advocates. We want to be ambassadors. So we want to be able to stand up for who we are and stand up for our story. We want to be able to say, no, our laws need to change. Our courts need to change. The inequities need to change. And I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to stand in my story. I know who I am. I know what I've experienced. So then you portray this experience to the karma councils and the boards, and you say, enough is enough. Can you please help me clear this experience? Can you please help me clear these energies and these entities away from my experience so that I can get on with being me? And Spirit will do that. Spirit, the higher self, the karma boards, the karma councils, and all those that are threaded with everyone that is causing harm and in your way, they will be deliberating with the higher selves and the souls of everybody involved. And there will be opportunities and threads to start weeding people out. And that's what happens. It's called, we see it as karma, where there'll be things just happen and things just occur, to help weeding these energies so that they can be more aligned with energies that want to play like that. And they have every right to, if they want to continue playing those energies, because they have soul lessons to learn, it's purposeful, but that there's not the interference and there's not the impeding, which is a #1 law of the universe. And there are counsels and guides and beings that will help. And so many of you have to go through those experiences so that you have the courage, you have the ability, and you have absolute sovereignty of your soul's expression. There's nothing more important than your evolution with God. Nothing is more important. Stand by that with every fiber of your beingness. There is nothing more important than your access to light, than your ability to process light. And if you're being impeded in any way, that's up to you to start making change. Peaceful, loving change. There doesn't have to be a war. There doesn't have to be dichotomy and challenge and change. But those that want to start fighting against it, and those that don't want you to have that light, that's when Spirit will step in, because you have your birthright to be expansive, period. That's your birthright. That's the law. So if someone's interfering with you, then Spirit will step in, and Spirit will be the interferer, because those are lessons that soul needs to understand. Why did I choose to interfere? Well, there was a wound of abandonment. There was a wound of rejection. There was a wound of this or that, but that's their work to do. It's not your job to do that work for them. Your blueprint, your birthright is to be as expansive and loving and exciting as you can. There's no right or wrong. There's no judgment on anybody. But those are the things, and those are the discussions, those are conversations that you can have that directly link to your soul contracts. When it's time to say no, cut it out. When it's time to say, I want a new soul contract with somebody new. This is what I want to experience. I want to experience. This is really exciting for me. I want to test my skills and my gifts. I want to practice them. But I can't practice them with people that keep disturbing me. I can't practice them with people that keep pulling me back into their drama and their stories when I've said no 800 times. When I've done everything in my power, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, to say no, to say no, to say no, cut it off, go away, go away. You've calling back your energy, you've calling back your consciousness, and you're continuing to motivate in a new dimensional realm. Those beings and those spirits don't have any right to continue to interfere with your expression of evolution. None do. Nobody does. And that's why spirit will step in. That's when those conversations with you, your higher self, your soul, and the karma board, and the archangels and the masters, whoever you come with, because again, it depends on the contracts you're here on earth, whether it's the topography, whether it's the evolution. And that's where those that have been called whistleblowers, all of those whistleblowers have those types of conversations in the higher self time, in the dream time, with their higher guides, because they're here to create change. They're here to break programs. They're here to break density and conformity, fear and greed and control. So those of us that are here to do that, whistleblowers, those that are here to keep moving towards equality, moving towards greater justice systems, greater fulfillment of voice, fulfillment of spirit, fulfillment of fairness and balance. Those of us are here to make great global and collective change. Those will be a parts of our ongoing soul growth, our daily soul care, our daily self-care, so that we are in alignment of our soul's blueprint. Why are we here? I'm here to get excited. I'm here to shake things up. Let's go. Let's get busy. We are so profoundly infinite, and we have cascading contracts, cascading councils, cascading beings that we can align with so that we can make sure that we're on track always. You're going to be thrown off every now and then, because that's the point too, is to learn about discernment. Where are you putting your energy? How are you intending it? And how are you directing it? Who are you? How much of your energy is going everywhere in any 1 hour? Reclaim all of your energy. Reclaim all of your attention mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and just recoil it. It's the most powerful thing you can do 3 or 4 times a day is recoil your energy, and you will see the profundity of your soul, and you will feel it. And you will feel all of that healing power go to a place in your body that needs healing. Just direct that energy. I'm going to put that energy right in my heart because I need to heal my heart. Recoil all energy. When you place a thought to a worry, that energy goes to that thing, and you're just perpetuating that story. That's what I see as a conduit, the threads of thoughts. I see threads of wounds. I see threads of dimensions. I see threads of versions where wounds had been hurt. That's as a seer, I can see that. So that's how I know, and that's how I'm showing and telling you. Other people can see it and experience it other ways, but that's just how I see it and experience it. It's part of my soul blueprint. So my soul blueprint is about teaching and honoring and offering. But there's many times where I've had that conversation with spirit, and spirit will say, okay, Joanna, what about this? And I'll say, no, spirit, not right now. I want to do this right now. I've been held back for 5 years. I want to do this right now. And spirit will change the plan. But you have to present it in a way as if you're talking to a council, because spirit, you're never always to override spirit. That's not the role, and that's not the goal. You're there to surrender to your higher self. But there are times throughout your process of ascension, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, however many times, where your soul is really passionate about a certain topic or a certain experience that you've had. That was an experience I had, spirit. That was my life experience. I'm not going to make it small, and I'm not going to write it off as a misunderstanding. That was a powerful experience for me that gave me so much growth and learning. That deserves to be on the top shelf. That's what I want to experience right now. And I need divine intervention to help get these energies severing those cords and severing those threads so that I can get on with my life. I deserve to have my life. I deserve to be liberated. I deserve to be free of their distractions, of their densities and their negativity and hate. I deserve that. I've earned just a few minutes of it. Not to be impaled 24/7. I deserve a few minutes of peace. And spirit will look at those experiences. Spirit will look at your soul's history. Spirit will look at what has occurred on every level with every person. Any person sending you negativity or hate, spirit will look at every single person of it and say, how much has she really been distracted? How much has she been impaled? God knows, because God's in everything. God's in those people. So God knows. And God will say, all right, there you go. And God will start delivering. God will start distributing, whether it be karma, whether it be new opportunities, whether it be examples, whether it be, offering those people, other people to play with, because it's their soul time now to go through that resilience training, that passionate training, that tolerant training, that patience training. In my 8 years, those are the major soul themes within my soul's blueprint that I had to learn. I had to learn what tolerance was. To love the deplorable, those that did the most egregious acts, to love them anyways and send them light. They don't know what they're doing. They're wounded. They know what they're doing in a physical way, but they're wounded. They're behaving from wounds. And that's okay. They're still a part of me. They're still a part of the all. They're still a part of God. And what's important to God is important to me. So it helps prepare and create healing programs and healing experiences, but you don't have to put up with it. You can say, I've had enough of that contract, spirit. I've done the lessons. I've done the observing. I've done the reflecting. I know what I've learned. It's been profound. I honor everybody involved. Wow, you taught me so much. I honor you. You're great souls. You are great equal souls of wisdom. They're equal souls. Every karma person is an equal soul of love and light, equally. In the higher realms, you are equal. All realms, you are equal. They're your brothers, they're your sisters, they're your mothers and their fathers. They're equal and they love you unconditionally. Just in the human body, they're wounded. And they're here to show you and teach you and reflect to you where there's still energy in your field that needs to be healed. But you can have those conversations to change those soul contracts. When you've had enough is enough and you've stood purely and profoundly for your own purpose, for your own light, that's what spirit wants to see. Do you love yourself enough to let go of the story? That's how we change our human collective. I'm done with slavery. I'm done with discrimination. I am done with being treated unjustly. I'm done with the taking of my resources, physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. I'm done with it. Story's done. I've had enough. I've been kind. I've been nice. I've been patient. I've been polite. Enough. Done. And that's what you can have those conversations with spirit when you're changing those deep soul contracts. You can choose to cut them loose. You can choose to say no to those stories and never have them opened again, so that you can navigate more refinedly. This is what I've learned. This is what I've pulled in. That's what I've grown in. I've learned to stand in my truth. I've learned to speak my piece. And it's okay. They have their point of view and their opinion, and it's peaceful, right? That's what we're learning. We're learning to be peaceful in our diversity. We're learning to be peaceful in our expressions of differences. But nobody has the right to continue to abuse. That's the difference. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be diverse, but it's not okay to continue the abuse. When you've said no, you've stated your boundaries, you've stated your limitations in what you choose to engage with, and there's still the continuance and the playing with your fields or black magic and spell work, because you can feel it in your field. Even though someone says to your face, no, I'm not doing it, and you can feel it in your field. So that's when you have that divine intervention and calling in the right healing guides, calling in the right soul guides. Their higher self will act upon the higher expressions of the karma board, their soul, and God. If God says, okay, enough is enough, they need to be redirected, they then go have a universal energetic conversation, the soul, the higher self, and the karma board, and they will start creating a new plan. That's why you standing up for yourself and you standing up for your soul's blueprint is important, because it's all based on the level of awareness. Their higher self will continue to redirect them and to continue to cause tower moments or distribute karma, however you want to call it or serve it. It's just a matter of engaging and realigning those energies where they're more energetically matched. In the highest benevolent way, spirit will always have it in the most peaceful possible way. Tower moments are only for when there's just the not listening, and the ego and the arrogance just doesn't want to listen. And it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I keep teaching. The crime and the violence doesn't have to be that way. But if people are not tuned into their higher self and they're not taking what spirit's giving them, then it turns into chaos and tower, but it's not necessary. We just understand energy and move in our most excited way and do the healing as it gets triggered. Everything works out. And so those experiences spirit will put in front of you just to realign and re-navigate. But why you standing in your power is so important, because you can say enough is enough. I don't want that contract anymore. I'm done. I've served you in the highest way. I've shown you the positive empowerment. I've been patient. I've been compassionate. I've been absolutely honoring and nothing but trustworthy to that contract. I've done my very best. Enough is enough. I don't want to be taken from. It's now becoming a negative experience. And that's when spirit says enough is enough. You've learned. It's all about soul growth, exploration, experience, and expression. And you show those to that communication with the karma board, and the karma board will then choose to change that soul contract and bring in something else, because you get to have those decisions. It's your soul contract. You are here on earth for you. You have a voice in it, equally with spirit. Spirit says, who are you? This is who I am, spirit. Bring it open. If there is something that spirit says for you, spirit says, no, you have to learn this lesson. And sometimes that's what spirit will do, because that soul lesson is pivotal to who you are becoming. Whether it's learning to forgive, compassion, love, your highest activation of your highest code, you might need that really, really, really heavy karmic experience to activate a light code. You might need that experience to activate your biggest gift. We have no idea. It's not for us to understand those reasons, but spirit will come back and spirit will say, no, this is of the father and the mother's will. Nobody can say that but spirit, and you will absolutely know through the vibration of your being when that is said to you, because it will be said from the highest of the highest, and nobody can interfere with that, and nobody can intersect that. And you just have to discern and play in that. because nobody plays God. And that's where super spirit will intercede. And you can just ask, have that connection and communion, that alliance with light. Okay, Archangel Michael, make sure that there will be no interference and no intersecting energies, because this is an important conversation and I got to have it one-on-one with God, one-on-one with the karma board, one-on-one with my soul and my spirit. So again, that's getting you used to being honoring and humble and respecting of all that is spirit, of all that is the heavens. Be humble in your requisition. Be humble in your request. It's your soul plan. You're meant to be passionate. You're meant to be excited, but you're also okay to say, no, enough is enough. You're a soul here. You're not meant to be a slave or enslaved to abuse. You're not meant to be enslaved to receiving nothing just because others want to make sure that you live in poverty, or that you never receive, or that you never advance because they want you a part of their dense story. Nobody has that right. Nobody has the right to enslave you in any way, physically, sexually, mentally, emotionally. Nobody. And you can reclaim all that power. You can cut those cords. You can take what you've learned from the story, and then you can be a positive part of changing the dynamics of our planet, because those energies are on our planet. Why are they there? Why are they there? Those imprints, those stories are there. In every family, there is dysfunction. And that's what I'm here to bring forward. And it's a dynamic experience. It's positive, it's loving, it's magnificent, it's exciting. That's what we're here to change, because that changes all of creation, 3 universes, and then some. So your healing in that is purposeful. So again, your soul blueprint is, if you go to that Tumblr blueprint writing that I did, the Tetra, I can't remember what it's called. It's called the, and then I have a short channel. It's called the tetrahedral electron dimensional thing, tetrahedral. And source is in the very middle. And source emanates love and radiance and codes for all 3 universes. So if you can soften into, if you want to, as an expansive exercise, when you have your time and you're doing your daily self-care and you want to expand your mind into the tetra universe, just tune into what that tetrahedral looks like for you, because it's micro macro. Remember your sacred trinity. That is micro macro. It's you and source. So when you can start to understand micro macro experiences, you can then play with how to play with your energy and your consciousness. And always remember that grounding is first. You can't do that exercise without grounding first. So that's why we're going to be doing this Patreon channel. For those of you that are excited to be continuing in higher, expansive, multidimensional galactic schools of thought and form and becoming, of ascension, of various roles, teachers, leaderships of planet Earth through the assimilation, then that's what that Patreon channel will be. So again, there's primary, secondary, and tertiary, and it all has to do with, again, the construct of your consciousness. Because a primary soul theme will be your primary throughout your whole life. I'm a teacher. That's what I'm meant. I'm an expressive creative artist. I'm an expressive creative artist. That's how I teach. I teach through creative song. I teach through creative dance. I teach through creative light language. I teach through creative mudras. I teach in that way, and it's an expression. I use my hand. I use my body. I use my voice. That's my creative primary soul theme. And then there's a secondary theme, that spirit, and the tertiary theme, which will always again have connection with Gaia, have connection with your collective, and have connection with the multiverse, the universe, God. Because again, you're connected with all things. And so those are going to be constant. And they're going to switch back and forth, and they're going to play. 1 year, you might have deep, deep soul emotional healing to do with a family member that's really, really karmic. And that will take all of your year, 2 years, 3 years of a karmic cycle to heal those deep soul wounds, because you too activate the deep soul wounds that need to be brought forward. That's why you meet those karmic soul contracts. That's why you contract them. You contract them because they trigger the deepest part of you. They trigger the deepest part of love. What does that look like? What does the deepest part of compassion look like? What is the deepest part of expressing your truth? What is the deepest part of expressing your soul's voice? They activate you. That's why you come in contact with those you're meant to come in contact, because that's your time to receive. That's your time to receive a code. That's your time to receive an awakening. And what they showed me earlier is that in the Patreon channel, those will be the places that we will do those galactic activations, so that you're more and more in alignment of your destiny, of your soul's calling. Because you'll have different destinies. That's what we're trying to get to. There's not one destiny. It's constantly changing. It's a living document. It's multidimensional. Primary, secondary, tertiary, based on the collectives, the beings, the councils, the assemblies, all the things that you're connected to. Multidimensional. Remember, it's the dodecahedron. So start to think of yourself as a soul being that's expansive and wide and vast. You want to play multiversally because it's fun, pure fun. And if it's not the core for your fun, if you're doing it for any other reason, then you need to go back and do healing. And that's the responsible way, because you can't gain mastery without doing it responsibly, because spirit will send you back. Make no mistake about it. Spirit will send you back. Spirit will not allow you to be in a vibrational place that you have not been prepared for. That's what causes psychosis and breakages, because your psyche is not prepared for the light and the fragmented dimensions, the constructs of that dimensional reality. That's why we're talking and preparing step by step, stage by stage, phase by phase, the multiverse new language. Because you have to be prepared for it. If you're steeped in past, present, and future density of time and space, it will be hard for you to understand the now of the all. So that's why it has to be done in pieces and constructs of dimensional threads and beddings. You're preparing yourself for expansive becoming, right? And again, your consciousness and your awareness, primary, secondary, and tertiary, is all about those constructs of dimension, how you process light, how you integrate light, and that will include the higher vibrational wisdoms and activations. Your activations are done through your DNA, physical, mental, and emotional, and your fields. So when we do our light language activation, it activates the field of the all, the omnipresent, and all of the beings that are involved in it know exactly what they're doing, and that's their excitement. That's why I connect with certain beings and certain levels of consciousness in the fields, because that's their excitement. We're connecting as a vibratory match. And as a conduit, I know that. And that's just a part of what I come with. That's a part of my package, if you will. That's a part of my soul blueprint. As you can see, it's all connected. That's why I love soul blueprints. I love talking about soul blueprints because it's so spectacularly expansive. And so your connection with God, again, it's your sacred triad. You'll be obviously always connected with your collective. What are you here to offer the collective for the fifth dimensional integration and assimilation? Your expansiveness as a soul. And again, it goes back to your level of awareness. Have you worked through the densities so that you can keep processing, integrating light? Because as expansive as you want to get, that's fine. It might be ego, it might be fun. You might want to jump a stage or two, but you can't. You have to go through the processing. You cannot be on this processing of light if you haven't processed this, this, and this. And it's not linear. It's multidimensional. When that soul wound in your chakra is ready to be activated, to be brought forward, that's your connection with your teams, your alliance with your light, so that you can say, I'm ready to clear that wound, because this is where I want to experience myself, but I need to clear this wound first, and I know that. That's a wound I got to clear. I know that. There's a lot that I've been dealing with, and there's a tiny little bit of resentment there. I got to clear that resentment. I got to own that. I got to clear that resentment for being held back for so long and having it affect me so deeply. I got to clear that. I know that. That's an energy in my field. I know I got to clear. That's part of my lineage clearing, my ancestral clearing. I know that. I can feel that. I feel into that. I know what that trigger is. And so that's how you just clear those triggers. That's how you're really in tune in your alliance with light. Because spirit says, okay, let's give you that activation, but you got to clear this first. You say, okay, I get it. Spirit won't let you go there. Your higher self won't. Your higher self will be, nope. Do all the spell work you want. You ain't going. Nobody has access. There's access. What did Pleiadians say to me that time? They said there's veils and constructs into various things to make sure that the warping and things that were done in the past, thousands of years ago, do not happen again. So there's safe points and checkpoints on things now, because there's beings that play in those things for their own selfish gain and greed, because that's just their aim, and that's helped people grow to put those checkpoints on. It's not necessary, but it happened. So that's why and work with spirit. Can we please put a checkpoint on? Can I please have a gatekeeper? Can I please work with spirit in this way? It's up to you. It's your path. It's your soul blueprint. It's your soul's experience. What are you doing? Are you in commandmentship of your experience here on earth? Are you in leadership of it? Are you getting excited? You getting excited? Because that's the whole life now. Your blueprint with spirit, your blueprint with source, your blueprint with God. That's awesome. There's nothing more important. And everything unfolds synchronistically, magnetically, and miraculously. Any abundance, any job, any human thing will unfold as you follow that. Absolutely will. That's the equation. That's the secret. And so the divine mind of you, your higher self, is connected with the divine mind of the all. That's why everything is always eternal and infinite. That's the divine mind. That's God. That's the mind of God. That's why you will always be activated and inspired. Always. When you're in alignment with your higher self, you will always be activated to create something from nothing, create something from nothing, create something from nothing. You don't need anything outside of you because you're connected with the divine mind. Divine mind will always inspire you to create something from nothing. And that's how you will know in discernment those that are in alignment of their higher self, those that are working with spirit, because there's an infinite navigation of energy, infinite navigation of inspiration. It's instantaneous. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I'm in alignment. Let's go. That's when you're creating those murals of art because you're in the zone. You're working with and as your higher self. So there'll be collective planetary intelligence, again, your Gaia energy, and the galactic, celestial, and alien. So all of those are groups and councils that you'll be connected with and threaded with, and that's part of your soul blueprint and contracts that you're going to call in. If you have an upcoming presentation that you don't even know about, but Spirit wants you to do this presentation on that side of the world in another 6 months. Spirit's going to set up, and your teams and your guides will set up, and your ancestors will set up this person, that person, this experience to make sure that you're getting those experiences and activations so that you can be in the right alignment of this activation over here. And not only that's happening on the multiverse level, because you're connected with this Pleiadian council, you're connected with the masters, you're connected with the angels, and it's on this universe. You might have something, but this is where God is God. This is where you just got to trust God. God knows what God's doing. You just got to keep up with the excitement. Just get in there and start being you. Get in there, get her done. This activation that's needed is the same time as this is needed, but it's in a different universe. So Spirit's saying, okay, she needs this and this here, that, and that there. It's not different. It's not past, present, future. It's now. That's God. That's where I can go on and on about this because it's expansive and it's mind-boggling. And it's so fun. So fun. So Spirit knows what Spirit's doing. You just got to let go. Ego has no idea the threads and the councils and the groups that you belong with. Spirit does. Your soul does. When you're in a meditation, when I was asking about my celestial beings and the council, some of them that I belong with, we're going to stop there and we're going to read our download. I'm going to go nourish my body and nourish my mind, have some rest time and have a visit. And so do your daily journaling and do your work. And thank you for Spirit for showing up for us today. What was I going to say? The recognition of who you are as a soul is multiverse. It's multifaceted. It's multidimensional. So work with your teams. Know that you can change your soul contracts when it's really becoming dense and harmful and abusive or negative or draining or depleting, whatever it might be. You have the right to change that. That's your reality. That's what Spirit wants to see from you. Spirit wants to see you getting involved in your own life, taking ownership and management of your own life. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, who are you? And work with it every day, expand within it every day, because you're connected with all these different groups. So here is what Ashtar had downloaded to me today from the Galactic Assembly, because I am a galactic tutor. The promise of hope for humanity rests within each and every one of you. To ignite and to reestablish the pure and eternal joy and excitement of who you truly are and who you have always been. To feel the expansiveness in the divine reorientation of your galactic and celestial assimilation, which will allow you to heal any and all alien fragmentation that has been through the eons of war, separation, and distrust on the various parties, roles, and games played out throughout all history, throughout all realms and all planets. So that's why we're all going through this, the distrust of certain species, the distrust of those in our collective, feeling into what vibrations feel good and what vibrations feel light and what vibrations feel daunting. That's why discernment is such a powerful mastery theme, primary for everybody. Everybody will be moving through the releasing of distrust and the rebalancing of equality. Those are major primary themes for everybody on our planet, to rebalance male feminine energies and masculine energies. Those are themes of primary importance on our planet. Everybody must go through them because you can't go into the next dimension without them. You have to be balanced. You have to be grounded and centered to move through higher vibrational ascension because the light will continue. Can you process the light? Can you keep up with the light? Are you moving your body to move out those deep cellular traumas? Are you being gentle and compassionate with yourself? Because that's how you heal those deep trauma wounds. And then again, honoring and being compassionate with those that behave from wounds and from non-healing. They haven't awoken yet, and they're equally as important. The multiverse that are cascading lessons, wisdoms, teachings, and techniques to not only heal your world and your collective's toughest issues, but to bring in the eventuality of our unification and deep familial love. And that all entails in somewhat of a physical and non-physical manner. So what they meant there, because they showed me, is that when we're meeting our celestial, because we've all preordained this, we've all worked it out in a contract. It's another contract within our soul blueprint is first contact. How will that happen? Who will it entail? It might entail only one being. It might entail a group of beings. For me, my first contact will be a group of beings because I belong with so many groups and councils, and that's what I wanted. I wanted those group of beings to be with me on my first contact experience, which I've already had. I'm just remembering them right now because we're just pushed them to the side because it's not of importance as the human healing right now that has to be done. So sometimes our higher galactic, fun, celestial experiences for those of us that are starseeds are put on the back burner because right now our human experience is so vital and important that we get it. We get the foundational themes, especially those of us that will be leaders, teachers, and healers. We must get the human themes because that's what we're here to help heal. That's what we're here to anchor to our planet. So what they showed me there is that those that present themselves to us in our first contact, they will be the familial love and all of those beings that are in the higher realms of non-conscious or non-physical, and they will thread those energies of unconditional love to us. That's why we have to prepare ourselves. So I'll say that again. What they said is that to heal not only your world and your collective's toughest issues, but to bring in the eventuality of our unification of deep familial love and all that that entails in physical and non-physical. So that cascading unconditional love will be presented by those that physically are before us. And it will be a profound unconditional love that we've never felt before. So we have to be as whole as possible. And why healing those soul fragments are important. Because if you met that level of unconditional love, you would immediately be on your knees crying. That's how profound just even a fragment of that unconditional love is. And I felt it. So I'm feeling it more and more in the non-physical so that when they do present themselves in the physical, I am as prepared as possible. Otherwise, I would be all fragmented and on the ground bawling because it's such great unconditional love that we haven't experienced here on earth. And this is part of my role as a conduit is to start bringing these levels of unconditional love to you, start bringing these levels of excitement to you, because that's what we're meant to feel. Not all the time, not 24 hours a day, but we're meant to feel a great portion of our day excited to be who we are. And so those that will be presented to you will be those that have been sent and been agreed upon in your own soul's blueprint and contracts to present the familial love that is cascaded from the highest of the heavens. So those of us that are angels in our higher realms, those of us that work with the masters and those that work with the angelics and the heavenly beings and the Christ consciousness, that love will be presented down into those that present themselves to us in the physical. So that's really exciting. And play with those and ask those questions and be with that energy. For many of your growing engagements to your higher families of light, to the dimensions and to the planets of equal exploration, those before you will exemplify what you have set out to ask, to seek, and to receive. That is the gift of your higher consciousness. That is how you awake and prepare for these cascading wisdoms, cascading loves, and cascading unity. It is of the greater celestial and heavenly families that wish all of you to feel how profoundly and unconditionally loved you are, as we meet with you in the ethers for now and later in the physical. Everything is individually based on agreement for first contact and the blueprints that you have designed, and these are always changing based on your level of consciousness, awareness, and self-love and excitement. And we are very excited to offer you these downloads. So thank you, Commander Ashtar and the Ashtar Collective. We're thanking you so much. And we wish you many blessings of light. Have fun with your soul blueprint. See how you can start connecting and creating new soul contracts. What are you excited to see in the year 2023? How can you inspire and dream new soul contracts with your planet, with your collective, and with your soul teams? So in your soul's planning and in your New Year's planning, if you will, have your soul's contracts be a part of it. They're so important. It's the only reason why you're here. for my collective, for my celestial families and councils in the higher realms of God, and for my human collective. What am I here for? My Gaia, what am I here to create? What do I want to be a part of? That helps inspire spirit to download and activate you and bring you messages and bring you visions and bring you synchronicities and bring you people into your life of the things that you want to be experiencing. And it will always be threaded back to, what did I always go back to? What am I really excited to create? What am I really excited to explore? What must I really do in my day? And for me, it's teaching and writing. I'm a creator. I want to create, and I've got infinite ideas within me and infinite creations and infinite ideas that thread off into the infinite, because I can go there. I've trained for this. I prepared for this, and I'm so excited. And so too are you. You're infinite being of light. You're infinite in your creativity. You're infinite in your healing capabilities. Reclaim full access to your own life, to your bodies, and to your potentials. You have a divine destiny. So go within and start playing and start having fun. Be excited to be who you are. Thank you, dear lighted ones. And the Patreon link will be down below. If you want, my email is down below if you have any questions about it. And other than that, we're going to say goodbye for now, because I really, really have something exciting that I want to do and I want to get to. But I just wanted to offer this forward as just a very short synopsis of what a soul blueprint is and how it's connected to your soul contracts, how the karmic contracts are equally as important to your divine celestial mastery. All of the things that you think are fun, you equally have to go through the karmic experiences, because you're meant to offer them in an equal manner. Everything is purposeful. It is all equal. It is all valuable. It's all precious. It's all equal. And everybody in the higher realms beyond the veils, you're all one. The ones that you have the most challenges, the ones that you have the most trouble with, you are all sisters and brothers in the highest realm. So love all. The highest level of compassion, the highest level of understanding, and see your life as a gift because it is. See your body as a gift because it is. You are divine and you are loved. Thank you, dear lighted ones, and we love you. Bye, Rainbow Tickle. Bye.